You know what it is. It is yours truly, Desyple, aka YPLE at YPLE Productions, and the guest and interview today is I'll let you explain yourself who you are.
What's great, y'all? It's Brody Merlot, aka Third Element from Ashtabula, Ohio, Station Side. What's
Ohio.
good? That part grew up, you know what I'm saying, spitting out of Bonniewood, you know what I'm saying, with my man Desyple, Nightshade Productions, Neil, Zenith, Joaquin, the whole 9 yards, Ali, C Gutta, you know what I'm saying, that whole movement, sparked from there. So yeah, man, much respect and thanks for having me, fam. Yeah.
So after all that, was there like one person or one like producer, maybe an artist, maybe somebody around you that got you over that threshold, like that made you finally come up out your shell, make you think, yeah, I could do this, so you started doing it?
Ah, at first it was just building the courage to jump into talent shows. Me and the homies, like Sean Jackson and the Evans and a lot of people in elementary school, we was like, we got to get the talent shows lit.
Right.
So we would jump into talent shows and shit and do choreographed dances and rhymes and whatnot. So once I built the courage to do that, and I even wrote some raps for that I would perform in church too. So just building the courage to do that, and then a lot of MCs like Zenith, you know what I'm saying, Aaron Hood and Joaquin, and meeting you and my cousin Neil, you know what I'm saying, us all being under the Andre umbrella of Nightshade,
Which was
you know,
under pretty much learned from Manas. So I think about that
right?
crazy circle all the
It's
time,
a
bro.
exactly,
Like if one
exactly.
person wasn't there and that person wasn't there and that person wasn't there, half of
Yep.
these people wouldn't be here. I think about that all the time, bro. It's crazy.
Yep. So, definitely building with, Nightshade. And then from there, I just branched out, and just kept going, linking with eventually Monis and D Norm, dropping with them and whatnot. So
Rest in
yeah, just
peace,
kept it
D
going.
Norm.
Rest in peace, D Norm.
Yeah, definitely. No, I can feel that. But when I started, like, it kind of started like that for me too. But mine was a little different. It was Kane and C was messing
Hmm.
with over there with Station Side, and
Yeah.
C started dating my sister. I used to walk around the house when nobody could hear me and say little flows and shit because I wrote poems my whole life and I kind of grew up, going to church. I was a choir boy. A lot of people don't know that. Used to get my
I did
little
it.
notes and stuff on. But then, yeah, it kind of happened like that. I was spitting one day and C overheard me. He was like, "You should, you should, you should do that. You should let that out." I'm like, "Nah, I was always shy." And then
Hmm.
they drug me over to Dre's one day, and there I was in the corner. I'm talking about when the booth was in the corner, and everybody's staring at your back, and you could feel them in a wide open room, and you gotta drop this verse. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, in front of everybody.
I did it though. I did it, sweaty, shaky, and all, but I did it, and ever since then, it was what it was. It just progressed, to everybody else,
Right.
and the whole link up of the
Mhm.
town and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Before that, it was me, Joaquin, and Hood, Zenith. I would go to Zenith's basement, and we had a microphone that was hung up on a pool stick, little tape recorder. We was getting into it there, and eventually, Zenith met Dre and brought me over there. That's how I got introduced to Dre, was through Zenith. So
Right.
yeah, big up to Zenith.
Y'all was doing the microphone and the beat playing on one side of the tape deck, recording on the other, and you had to pass that bitch, and if anybody fucked up, you had to start all over.
Exactly. Yep. On
Yeah.
tape. On tape.
They don't
Yep.
know about that struggle. Yeah,
Yep.
that shit was
Over
crazy.
industry beats,
Yeah,
or something we try to make up real quick.
yeah, yeah. Good times, good times. It led to some things being easier nowadays when it comes to music, though. So, I mean,
Hmm.
at least on the learning point. Um, how would you explain your creative process? Like if you're doing a song or whatever it is you're doing in music, a song, a video, whatever it may be, from start to finish, what how would you call your creative process, like the steps you go through?
For the most part, man, it's just in me. You know, I could just be going about everyday life and just come up with something in my head and just, you know, back then it was write it on a piece of paper as soon as you can, but now you got your cell phone. You can just
Jot
pull your
it,
cell phone
right?
out, jot a couple lines down or a couple bars real quick, and just leave. I would just leave it there, and then I always put my when creating the songs, I always start with the beat. So I just go digging through the crates or, someone to send me something and I just vibe off of whatever that beat pulls out of me.
Okay, see now I can understand that because the beat tells me what to write.
It tells me what to do, what
Yeah, yeah.
emotion. And then I could always go back to, my notes like, oh yeah, this would go with this, or I got a
Right.
line I could use, or
Song,
yeah,
yeah. Nah, I definitely get that because I be on that same shit with beats. I hear a beat, and whatever the beat is, that's the emotion I got towards that beat, whatever it. I be telling people it sound crazy, but the beat be fucking talking to me. That's the only way I
yep,
can explain it.
exactly.
I,
That's how you know you're supposed to be doing it.
like back in the day, them old solos and shit people sample and all that shit. Like they didn't have to have words back then. Like the instruments was talking,
Hmm.
And it's hard to explain that to certain people because some people hear music, but then some people like hear music, if that makes sense.
And see it.
Right, right. But yeah,
but
definitely.
But but nowadays I'll just play beats in the car while I'm driving, and by the time I get back or to where I'm going, I'll fuck around and have 8 bars and a hook. You know what I mean? And just hurry up and write it down or record it real quick.
Mm.
It's coming a lot quicker these
Oh
days.
yeah,
We've been
definitely.
we've been doing it for a long time.
See, I don't like. I used to think when I was younger, I was like, I even used to ask Dre, and it's fucked up. He told me I was crazy. I'm like, bruh, I'm like, what if I run out of shit to say? I'm like, I done wrote so many damn songs. I'm like, what if I get, because, I've actually heard some cats get repetitive and they'll start,
Mm.
the same bars, same lines. And I'm like, I try not to do that. But I figured ways that help me around that, like and shit. Like I would like I don't cuss so much in my music over the last 5, 10 years, if I even cuss at all, depending on the emotion or what I'm talking about. But yeah, I
Right.
used to think that, but now I'm just like, fuck it, bro. It just comes out. It's not like I'm going to the studio and I'm like, damn, I gotta write this song. It's more or
Mhm.
less I'm trying to get to the studio so I can hurry up, drop this shit that's on my mind real quick, and
Right. Therapy.
right, right.
Therapy.
It gets kind of crazy. Definitely, definitely.
That's dope.
Yeah. Or when I used to go to Dre's and I'd be on the way because I'd write something on a napkin, bro. I'd be riding down the road, write it on a napkin, go to Dre. Dre be like, you fucking wild. He'd be like, and then I spit it. But that shit back then was crazy, though. Crazy.
Man, when I back in the days when I was working, I'll write on anything, boxes, you know what I'm saying?
Tags.
Anything. And
All
just
of
just
it.
so I could just so I could write, finish writing it when I got home.
I got a good question. A question that some people get twisted with. Some of them, I've heard a lot of answers that kind of surprise me and so on, but I guess, how would I put it? To put it in a nutshell, like to wrap it all up in a ball, how would you describe your music?
First thing I would say is honest. I don't talk about nothing that, you know, I haven't seen or done or experienced. Um you get a good balance of, you know, hip hop, neo soul, R&B. I collaborate with a lot of singers, male and female, and so you kind of get like a R&B neo soul vibe. You get that real Midwest hip hop, you know.
Right.
growing up where I grew up, you know, being exposed to a lot of things and, you know, my experiences in life going from, you know, Ashtabula, Ohio to Cincinnati, Ohio to Los Angeles, you know, you
Kind
get a
of.
a wide range of
To say
experiences
right and
and vibes.
incorporate all that. I
Right.
feel
You
it. I
know,
feel it.
growing up in Ashtabula, I was really in tune to my emotions, like on some emo rap before that was even a phrase.
Right.
It was like therapy, just getting stuff off my chest. You know what I'm saying?
I could
Going through
vouch for that though.
seasonal,
I remember
right?
all that. Yeah,
Going through
definitely.
seasonal depression and all types of shit. It was just more like poetry at first, and then getting all that stuff out on wax, and then going down to Cincinnati and getting exposed to a lot more like punchlines and metaphors, and then being under that influence of DJ High Tech and Talib Kweli and Dion and all them, and you know that music in Cincinnati, and you know just absorbing all that, and then being on the West Coast, you know, listening to Dom Kennedy and Nipsey Hussle, it kind of taught me how to be more in the pocket and not as aggressive and all over the
Kind
place.
of calm down a little bit.
Yeah, right now I could go back and listen to my old songs and I'd be, you know, I hear the tone and I'd be like, ah, nah, you know what I mean?
Hey, that's some old shit. I got people like it. I'm like, bro, that
They
shit
love it.
trash, bro. Like
Yeah,
that
they
shit
love it.
hot trash. I'm like, fuck that. I be embarrassed. I'm like, quit playing that shit, bro.
Yep. I can hear the growth in my own shit. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? With delivery and everything sometimes. Like some tracks will surprise you though. You'd be like, oh shit, like
Then switch to
that
that.
sounds like some shit I'll drop right now, but
Right.
you know, you already know.
I mean, you've always like spoke your mind on tracks. Like I could say a selective few of us have from around here. We weren't so much on like the floss and music and stuff like that. It was more about the actual story or the diary aspect or how you want to put it. Like we was speaking
Yep.
situations we were in and stuff like that. But definitely, definitely. I mean, I always thought you was a dope artist, and then I lost track of you for a while. I'm like, where this motherfucker disappeared to? And then I figured
Good
out
look.
you was in Cincinnati, and then
Hmm.
once we linked back up on the book, I seen you was out that way and all that fun shit. But that's what you're supposed to do, elevate. And if anybody
Dope.
hates on that, especially when you gaining knowledge in different areas, different states, different, I don't want to call it cultures, but different types of music, and you're incorporating all that together, and then you're getting
Right.
to the aspect of where you're like, I don't want to say nitpicking yourself, but you're seeing things that you think could progress you, and you're learning from others, and actually listening where most cats wouldn't listen, and that's
Hell
why they
yeah.
don't progress, because everybody's got that ego like that. Not everybody likes to soak up knowledge and shit like that, but
That part.
yeah, that part, especially nowadays. what
Yeah.
what if you had, even if you did a song with these people or whatever, if you could collab with one artist today, dead or alive, from
Ooh.
the past or up to date, whether it be, now think about this question a little bit, whether it be for promotional aspect or money aspect, or because you like that artist and that's just your thing, your homage, so it would be dope to you. But dead or alive, I get a lot of the same answer on this one, but that's why I try to stress them points before they answer. But dead or alive,
Right.
from the beginning of music's time all the way up until present, what one artist would you collab with? You only get one.
Oh, just one.
Just
I was about to
one.
try to shoot out three right before you said
You only get one.
that.
That's what makes it hard. You only get one.
mm, let me see.
It's never an easy
That's
one.
that's a hard one. That's a great question because you know you could pick a MC, you could pick somebody on the hook, you know,
You could
R&B collabo,
you could pick
anything.
somebody that you don't even like, but they're gonna benefit your career. Like there's all kinds of ways you could look at it.
Bro, that's nuts. Let me see. I fuck with Cameron heavy, man.
He's got bars. Definitely has bars.
I ain't gonna lie, I fuck with Cameron heavy because, you know, a lot of times after Bone, like Ohio, we didn't really have a lot of MCs on the major level that was repping for Ohio. And
Yeah.
Cameron, he was on that date in Youngstown, Cleveland, Cincinnati. He was saying that in his songs.
Ohio. That
Did it in
went
Ohio was
ham.
fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, he had a presence in Columbus and Cincinnati and Dayton and shit. And I was really influenced by that. I would love to do a collab with Cameron or the Dipset camp for sure. Mm-hmm.
So it's more of a artist thing to you, the type of artist you would fuck with, like on one of your tracks. Like you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, like that's him.
Just it's a way it's a way to represent for Ohio and being a fan of his music and his movement, you know what I'm saying? All at the same time.
That's different. It's definitely different. I get a lot of. I
Yeah.
get. I'm sure you already know. A lot of answers I get is Pac. A lot of
Mm.
Biggie stuff like that. Like every now and then somebody will pick an underground rapper or something like that. Or
Everybody ain't supposed to be on the song with Pac and Biggie. It
right.
just
They what? They
me
are
and
what they
Pac on the
are.
same song.
No.
Me and Pac on the same song. I'm not sure if it would
I can get the subject criteria, but one thing I think, rest in peace, Pac, that nobody ever duplicate again was the feeling and the pain in his voice when he delivered his lyrics. Like you could hear
and
it.
his cadence.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can hear it. Like it's crazy the energy
Mhm.
like that he put into everything. But definitely, yeah. But
Yeah.
crazy.
I like Cam because I feel like it don't have to be too serious. We can do something fun and still get, you know, a valid point across.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of charisma. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's something that I try to get across in my music as well, especially nowadays, you know, like I was saying, be more in the pocket and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
But still give them that content.
But that's when people get dangerous and they don't realize it. Like, and when I say dangerous, I don't mean like when you have become like one with music, like it's part of your life, and you just let shit go and you don't even think about it. That's where I think music should be. That's where it started at. That's where it
Organic.
belongs. Right.
Yep.
Right. But yeah,
Facts.
definitely agree with that. Now, to all these people we spoke about and we mentioned artists, producers, all that, whether it be fucking, I don't care if it's movie stars or people in your life. Out of all
Right.
these people, how many of these people you think have, like, or say, influenced your music, got into your music? They are part of your music because of the things that you've learned from them or learned by watching them, things of that nature.
You mean like on all levels or from the industry? Or are you
All
referring
levels. It
to
don't matter if it's
all
the
levels?
streets. It don't matter if it was a fucking teacher you seen singing kindergarten and you picked up a
Right.
little something like the way she sung it, so you sung it later
Oh,
in
that
life like
um,
that, or
that this may be a long answer, but you know, growing up in church and playing the drums with Seneca O'Neill, Lawrence Harris, um, you know what I'm saying, Luther McMullen, you know, a lot of drummers. So that helped me come up with different cadences with beats. When I spit on beats, I could, you know, da 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 da
because
da
of the
da da da.
drums, right?
That yeah, because the drum cadences, and if you a lot of MCs like E40 or Busta Rhymes,
Right.
they'll say the same shit. They were drummers when they were young.
E40 got a crazy flow.
His flow is off the chain.
He's definitely unique. That's why he is who he is.
Yeah. And then like I was saying, my big bro, being, off the chain with the trumpet back in the days and being involved in church, playing in front of hundreds of people, at out of town events with organists, and you kind of could feel the music, and
Right.
you had to anticipate, when they was going to stop or speed up. And
Right.
so,
Without warning. Just
without
following it.
warning,
Right.
yo, and, or you just embarrassed in front of everybody. And then, the crazy part is at Station Side Elementary, Mrs. Chubb, uh, I don't know if you remember Melody Chubb.
Yeah.
Her mom was my music teacher in Station Elementary, and she pulled me to the side and she was like, "I feel like people look up to you if you participate, you know,
Kind of like a
music."
leader.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
participate, everybody will participate. And
Right.
I know you like music, so like, help me out.
Right.
And we got it lit. So,
Yeah.
my music teacher, you know what I'm saying? And then Aaron Hood, Zenith, like
Whatever
I was
happened to
saying.
him? He's still around?
He's still around. He in Columbus now, man. Got a beautiful family doing his thing. He kind of stepped back from music a little bit, but he got a fire verse on Ali the Prince last album.
Oh, okay. I'm about to go check that
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Hell
I always
yeah.
wonder what happened to him. I didn't mean to cut you off. You kept mentioning him, and I was curious. Closed mouths don't get fed.
He still got it in him. That's my guy
Right.
for sure. And then like I said, the Nightshade Camp. Wow, that's a big one. Listening to the Mafia and Seneca O'Neill, um, being involved in the strategy movement. Strategy and Monist had a setup at my cousin Terry Hitton's crib
Okay.
back in the day. And you know what I'm saying? Right when Top of the World Music first launched off, me and Strata was on, that first mixtape.
Right.
So I was influenced by that whole camp, after the Nightshade movement,
That's crazy.
Monis,
Yeah.
D Norm, Strategy, Seneca O'Neill. So, you know,
Everybody.
everybody, I got a little something from everybody. And then the crazy thing is like I was telling you earlier, I was more of an emo rapper, getting things off my chest. A lot of real tracks, back then. A pot collab would have made more sense back then
Right. Right.
than now,
Right.
probably, if it ever was going to work. But
Right.
I was nowhere near the level of even being able to do a pot collab, and still now,
I
but
don't know. I
it
ain't
made
gonna.
more sense then.
I ain't gonna lie. When
Mhm.
you came in, I mean, I salute all artists from Ashtabula. I don't care, young, new, old, whatever the fuck it may be. Like, I don't care if you're
Mhm.
fucking playing the guitar, doing whatever. But when you came out and you came to the studio, you was like, I want to say one of the top three, but I'll say one of the top five, so we don't hurt people's feelings, because it's not about that. But I definitely, like I said, I always thought you was like a real dope conscience type of artist, and that's what I
Appreciate
liked
that,
about
bro.
you was that.
And that's when we was still just putting it together too. It's
Right,
crazy.
right.
So I think that put me in a position to be able to hop on mixtapes with Strategy, who was my sister's age, my sister Leah and
Right,
Faith, you know what I'm saying? They 6, 7 years older than me. They went to high school with Strategy.
right.
So me having being conscious, it allowed me to relate to the older crowd and be on tracks with them.
Okay.
And then when I went to school in Cincinnati, I linked with an MC, Thrill Nova from Dayton, Ohio. And he put me on to like Joe Button, the A
Oh,
Team,
okay.
a lot of the East Coast shit.
Right.
So it was like an emo rapper with an East Coast
It
MC,
was hitting
and
bars
then
and
the metaphors. I
right.
started building on the metaphors and punchlines more, and I dropped a couple mixtapes and came back home, and niggas was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Right. They be like, whoa.
yeah, it was like, "Damn, all right, shit." And yeah, just going from there, man. That's pretty much all my influences for the most part. Up until that point, up until college.
What'd you end up going to college for, if you don't mind me asking?
Business and marketing.
Oh, okay. Smart man.
Mm-hmm.
Smart,
Yeah,
smart.
I fuck with the business and marketing, and to be honest, that decision was made to because it just was like, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something that will support my passion at the same time,
Right.
like like a double edged sword.
Right.
So
Promote your damn self.
a lot of promotion of my damn self, forming
Right.
LLCs. You know, me, Chubb, and Zenith had Through the Smoke Entertainment back in the days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So basically signing myself in 2010. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that whole business savvy and different things come into play. Right now we building on animation and clothing. So, you know, look out for that soon. So yeah, just building on all that.
Say you branding, huh?
That part got to. I changed my name, fam. You know, from Third Element to
Yeah.
Brody Merlot. Just be, you know, just like we discussed earlier, the just evolving. It just made sense. So,
No, I definitely
um,
feel where you're at on that name thing, cause like when I came in, I was Desyple. I broke it down one day. Everybody started calling me YPLE. I was YPLE forever. That's crazy.
mm,
I'm Desyple now, bro.
that's dope.
If it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah,
it's come around the corner and it's just and I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just proper. I'm living life, taking care of the kids, still doing my music. I'm just Desyple now.
that's dope. That's
Like,
dope.
but
That takes guts to do because it's like, okay, are people gonna follow over to the next name?
right,
Are they gonna catch on? Am I gonna lose fans? I'm
right.
starting all over. It takes guts, but when it's organic, you just got to do it.
Yeah, just go with it. But I've never
Mm,
like music's never been a thing to me of like I want this money or I want to be famous. Like music is like it's a passion of mine. If I can explain it,
right.
I've walked away 20 times. Within the next morning when I wake up, I'm arguing with myself. I'm done. I feel like only way I can explain it is like maybe like a crackhead addicted to crack. It's like I
mm,
need my fix. And then on
hmm.
top of that, I'm not the type of person that puts my business out there. So a lot of shit comes out in music, metaphors, and things like that. It's my release. So,
Right.
but yeah,
That's
I definitely
that's
get where
dope.
you're coming from on that one.
Hmm.
So I usually have two fucked up questions during the show. One's fucked up because it just sounds fucked up.
Here we go.
And the other one's a comical fucked up. It's like a little point that I just like to bring up in the middle of the show for no fucking reason, just for something funny. But the first question would be, and why I say it's fucked up, because a lot of people don't know how to answer it. And the way I put it is, what is the most useless, what is the most useless talent you have?
Useless talent. Mm. That's a crazy one.
Fucked up question. It's
A useless
fucked up.
talent. That's almost like an oxymoron.
Kinda. But
A
it's something
useless.
that don't benefit you pretty much. But it's
Got you.
but you can do it. You think of it
That's
as a
crazy.
talent. Like you good at it, but it don't do you no good to be good at it.
Mm.
Fucked up, I
I
know.
got the mean tolerance with drinking. That,
That could be a useless talent.
mean
He
tolerance.
said mean tolerance.
It's not as bad as it used to be, but I got a a nice mean tolerance with the drink. Like we was talking before we started, I'll be on the bourbons and the whiskeys
The
and
dark
the
liquors.
cognacs, all
Right.
that. Switch to the tequila in the
I be
summer.
trying to go shot for shot with you. You be carrying me out the club because I was drinking dark liquor. Or
Bro,
I start a fight with somebody. You be like, I can't chill with you like that no more.
I'll go to the bar and tell them to just give me my shit straight. No ice cube, no
See,
chase.
I
You
do
know what
my
I'm
liquor
saying?
straight like that, but the dark liquor,
Hell yeah.
I gotta be at the crib and I gotta be sipping it like it's some yak or something like that.
It don't even matter. I'll have some. I was in Colorado for the holidays and I was drinking spiced bourbon, some distillery in Colorado, spiced
Okay.
bourbon straight, warm, like cool.
Like it would, nothing.
Nothing.
They're looking at
Still
you
got
all
it.
crazy, like the fuck.
Still got it.
I feel it. Yeah, I don't drink like I used to, but I can't say the weed game went up because my tolerance is high, so I can relate a little bit. Cause like I can smoke all day, and it's like I'm normal if that makes sense, cause I smoked for so long. So like if I don't smoke, it's funny too, cause when I don't smoke or I don't be high, motherfuckers be like, "Bro, you high?" I'm like, nah, bro, I'm sober.
They can tell when you not. Wow, that's
Right,
crazy.
right. Like it's wild. Like
Out here in California, man, it's just so, casual.
well, yeah, all
It's
the
something
different
else.
laws and everything. Yeah.
It's just casual. A lot of people do it. It's not, like growing up, it was like frowned upon. Now that it's becoming legal in certain states and whatnot, it's becoming more of a casual conversation. And a lot of states are benefiting from it economically. So I
Yeah.
mean, maybe it all states will adopt it, but I doubt it.
Ohio's still holding out, and it would fix so much, like so much, so many things. It would fix the tax revenue alone, the money made off of it would fix so much shit.
I think Colorado was, I've heard they've been doing a lot to benefit the homeless with, their profit. So that's
And they
dope to
build
hear.
all new school systems and all that type of stuff, I believe.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
I
I
think
didn't
they
know
did a
that.
lot of crazy shit. Like when they first come in, they was talking crazy shit. Like they was making billions in the first like 4 years or
Shit.
some shit. Yeah, but I know
They
they.
just need to let everybody that's locked up out though. That for any marijuana related crimes, they need to let them
Definitely.
out.
Yeah, that's a dumbass war. It's just an excuse, is all it is. That's all
Hmm.
that shit is. Okay, so funny question. I've asked this question to a couple people, and I think it's gonna be the standard question for the funny question because some motherfuckers be lying, and some motherfuckers that be funny, they give their answer, and then they lady friend or their wife will be in the background calling them out like you
Here we
lying,
go.
like you
Here we
lying.
go.
But it's not as bad as most people think. But what I ask is like random funny questions. So I'll be like something like, "Do you sing in the shower, and what do you sing?"
Hey, I sing and spit in the shower.
Oh, so you be just going through the whole making your own hooks and all that.
Oh, I'll play something off my phone and just be rocking. I was getting on my girl's nerves the other day. I was singing Ralph Tresvant "Sensitivity" in the kitchen. She was like, "Babe, for real?" Like she was just tired of it. I just kept going. I'm a human jukebox. I'll just, on some Tourette shit. I'll just be chilling and then out of the blue, just say some shit like
Oh
a
yeah,
random ass hook of a song from back in the
I
'90s or
call it.
'80s or
Yeah, no,
something.
I call that music Tourette's. I swear to God, it's a real thing. Cause
Yep.
if it's so fucked up with me that if somebody says a phrase, like say they're just talking, they say a phrase, and that phrase happened to be a hook in the song, it pops right in my
Hmm.
head like the jukebox, like somebody threw a quarter in that
Exactly.
bitch, and I start singing it. They're like, "What the
Exactly.
fuck?" I'm like, "Bro."
Yep. You be answering the song and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah. I can
Yep.
definitely feel that.
I'll be on that all the time. I'll be getting on everybody's nerves with that shit.
Or I'd be at the light or something like that. I get weird shit, like kind of like you see in some shows now when they make fun of it. I'd be at the light be beeping, the traffic be going by. Next thing you know, everything in sync. It start to sound like a beat and shit. Like shit be
You
crazy.
start spitting or something.
Yeah, motherfuckers be in the car over next to you, looking at you like the fuck wrong with you, bro. But I asked my brother the other day because like out of all the people who've been around, he's with me a lot. He's always been like, music wise when I'm in the studio, like he's always been there. And I asked him, I said, "Bro," I said, "people look at us fucked up." He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I don't think when I look at the normal person that doesn't do music, I don't think when I'm randomly spitting out something or when they come to chill and they come sit in the studio and we start recording a song or doing some crazy shit, I don't understand. Like to most of them, they're like, wow, like that's crazy. But in my head, I don't think that because you know it's went on for so long. It's just like normal. And
Mm.
I told him I was like, sometimes I gotta dumb myself down. So Dre brought I don't mention no names or nothing, but he brought somebody over a couple weeks
Hmm.
back, and I was like Dre, I was like, they probably think we crazy, bro. And the person just blurted out, she was like, y'all look crazy as fuck. So you guys look like a bunch of little kids running around doing some talent show or some shit like that, just spitting out random shit and shit like that. Cause then, but at the time we was doing it, it was like you know main vocals were done. We was in there just catching keywords and spitting out random phrases, and they're
Right,
out here, and I
right.
was seeing the look on their face, and I'm like, oh, they fucked up. I was like, they think we fucked up.
Yeah, the process. If you're not familiar with the process, outside looking in, it looked crazy.
Yeah, wow, wow.
Especially when people, a lot of people mumble rap to find their cadence or
Yeah,
their delivery. When you first hear a beat, you just be sitting there like, no, 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 no. Somebody that
oh
ain't hip
yeah.
to that, they'll be looking at you like, what the hell? That's
When you
whack.
sing
Like,
like a lot of singing like a lot of singing I do, I'll be walking around for a while or I'll catch a melody and I'll hum that melody, but then that melody
yeah,
I'm humming end up turning into words, and it
yep.
just I don't know, it just pieces together like that. So definitely I
That'll
understand
that'll
that.
that'll weird somebody out that ain't familiar to
Right,
the
right.
process.
I
Like,
mean,
what the fuck is
we've
you
made
on?
like I hear songs. It's crazy because like say we did the ODB album. It was a lot of singing and a lot of what I'd like to call womanizing. Now you know talking pimp shit and shit
Right.
like that. But you know it was hot at the time. But when I think about it, it's like I don't know. It was just weird and different compared to like how stuff comes together now. Like everything switched up to almost like what I like to call like a jingle,
Mm.
if that makes sense, or a commercial. Like songs used to be 5 minutes long. Now they're like
Bro,
2 minutes, 3 minutes, and it's catchy because people's attention spans seem to be shorter now when it
they
comes.
very short.
Right.
You had to spit 3/16s back in the day
Yeah,
and a hook.
literally.
Sometimes a bridge
And
too.
then
Three
fade it
sixteens a
out
hook
at
and
the
bridge.
end. Right.
Bro.
No, it's not like that no more. You get on there, drop two eights and a hook once, and you're out.
Earl Sweat, you hip to Odd Future, like Tyler the Creator and all them.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Earl Sweatshirt had a project where the tracks was like a minute and a half.
Okay.
And it was just like back to back to back tracks. And that shit flowed so smooth. It was
Yeah,
dope.
the album I did before the last one I released that I had distributed, I did that. I had like a whole bunch of like between 2 minute and 30 minute tracks. And it was
Right.
crazy how easy it was to just blow through that album. Like there wasn't even no thought into it. But I think it's from what like you said, used to writing 3/16s and having to spread everything out, and
Bro.
now it's jam it all together and rock it out right
You
quick.
could it's much easier to just catch a vibe and freestyle and cut in and do a whole
Yeah,
song now
definitely.
because like you said, two verses and a hook and you done. Back then, freestyling the whole track was kind of like are you serious?
Right.
But now it's just like okay, that Gucci song you know, was just the same shit over and over for a few minutes.
Yeah. But it was catchy. That's the thing. Like the little
Exactly.
jingle to it. That's why I call them like commercials, like the old McDonald's, like the da 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 da. Everybody knows that, bro. You know what I'm,
Yep.
and everybody can sing that. So they're like, yeah, I like that right there. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is now. But I mean, you can't knock the hustle. Plus, it's less work in a nutshell. So.
That part. Whatever's getting people paid and better in their situation,
Right.
I'm all for it.
And it's evolving music is the way I like to look at it because music always evolves into something else. If it stops doing that, then we're all fucked.
Right. That
um,
part.
if you could pick out of three places, like say, all right, put it this way, what do you think the top three places you performed at are, and
Mm.
what is your favorite one out of all three of them, and why?
So I'll tell you all three, and then I'll backtrack and tell you what my favorite. Um, my first one. Can I give you four?
Yeah, I'll let you
Okay.
slide.
Appreciate it. uh ooh, can I give you five?
Yeah, we stopping at 5 though.
Because they're all for different reasons. And this is in no particular order. But in college I had a show opening up for Talib Kweli.
That's dope.
That was a super dope one. Uh we also had the following year the student activities committee invited us back, and I opened up for Little Brother, which is a dope Fonte and Big Pooh, a dope hip hop legendary group out of North Carolina and shit. And then I had another show where we did, me Bugs the rapper and who goes by Speed now. Back in the Natty, we opened up for the homie Stolly from Ohio, which was on Maybach Music at the time.
Right,
That was that was a ridiculous
I
show.
was gonna say that had to be dope.
That was lit at Bogarts in Cincinnati. The first two was on Xavier campus in Cincinnati. One was at Cintas. One was right in the on the green area. Right outside. That was lit. Um, Back in the days, I brought a few Cincinnati artists back to Ashtabula, and we shut down the Orr House.
Or house down on
We shut,
bridge at
bro.
the end
We
of the
shut.
bridge.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
shut down the Orr House. You know what I'm saying? We had, C Gutta
I remember
and
when Bone and Infantry
Mafia,
and yeah, all
right?
them, yeah.
We had Mafia down there. A group from Cincinnati called Crack Sauce. My homie Phoenix Six performed, and I did my thing. That was super lit for the city. We made a few thousand at the door.
Oh
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Everybody had a good time. There was no violence. Like that
Oh
was
yeah.
that was. I would say that's number one, just because that was
Right.
hometown,
Did
and it
not
was just
pop
like
off, right?
it was lit, bro. We had a good ass time down there, and a lot of artists from the Cincinnati heard about it, and it was like, okay, Ashtabula's like, we had a good time. It was dope. Like they was
Right.
going back to asking people, telling people about it and asking when they could come back and shit. So that was lit.
That's
And
dope.
the last one I rocked at the Viper Room on Sunset in California, out in LA. You know what I'm saying? A legendary venue
I was gonna
for,
say that
rock bands.
sounds familiar for some reason. You said the
That's
Viper?
where Viper Room.
Yeah, okay, that sounds familiar. I don't know why.
That's where River Phoenix overdosed at.
Maybe that's why,
Passed
because I
away.
watched that documentary too. I'll be on that
Hmm.
documentaries. I like that
Right.
shit.
It's a legendary venue for rock bands, on Sunset right in Hollywood.
Okay.
And I was fucking with Afton, a booking agency in Cincinnati. I was doing a lot of shows at the Mad Frog, close to University of Cincinnati's campus. And they had hit my email like, you trying to do a show? And I was like, yo, I moved to LA. And they was like, oh, that's cool. We got an office out there too.
Oh shit.
And it was like, update your address and shit on the on the site. Update my shit, and then they booked me for a couple hole in the wall clubs, and a lot of people came through because there's a lot of people from Ohio out here. A lot of people came through from home and from work and all that, and it was like feeling like the support that we was bringing. So they put us up in the Viper Room, and that was huge.
That was hot. They had an office out there though too. Like
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, oh yeah, shit,
yeah, that's
let's
crazy.
get it. But number one, Orr House, that was super dope, man.
Yeah.
That was super.
I remember, I don't know if it was the same night, but I was there New Year's when Bone Thugs did their thing, and a couple of them showed up, and I remember Infantry opened up for them, and a couple other people was there that night. A couple
Dope.
names. It was definitely a dope show. It was an experience. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think that place is open no more though. I think it finally shut down years ago.
That's a nice place right there on the water.
Yeah.
There was a lot of high school parties there back in the day.
And they had a upstairs and a downstairs.
Yeah, we they used to have some high school parties back in the day was lit. I remember being in there underage
Right.
drinking and shit. And Outkast Stankonia had just
Yeah.
dropped. So they played the whole Stankonia album for the whole, straight through at the party and shit.
I still love that Southern playlist of Cadillac funky music.
Oh
That
my God.
motherfucking album, bro.
Yeah.
Way back
Yeah.
when.
Outkast is crazy. AT all that
Yeah.
shit.
All that. They went on a journey too. Big journey. They
Yeah.
legends though. They definitely one of the legends.
How are things back in the city right now, temperature wise with the music? You feel like it's in a good place? Like who's steaming, who's got the juice? Like a lot of times I feel like I'm left out of the equation with being gone so long.
You are
But
forgotten about. I ain't gonna lie. Like I told you, like when I go through artists or I get on that back in the day shit, I'm like, what the fuck happened to this person, and then I
right.
tend to go to find them, like I said, but damn, I feel like I'm on blast now. I
That's my only question. That's the only question I'm at because I wanna have
the
a
way I see it right now is the people that's actually trying to make moves and do something with the music and putting their egos to the side are coming together and actually trying to get somebody out the city regardless of who it would be.
that's dope.
You got more artists sharing each other's posts, but it's usually the artists that are actually, trying to do something. And we talk to each other, shit like that, collab on things,
Right.
shit like that.
Right.
What Manas and Mafia, I call him Flea though, just because he's always been
Exactly.
Flea to me. We in the hood, but whatever. But
Right.
fucking the show that Manas and all them did with the Nerve DJs and Flea and all them brought a lot of
Hell yeah. I've seen
togetherness.
that. I saw that online. That was lit.
Yeah, it brought a lot of togetherness, but some people fucked it up. I don't care what they say because most people know I speak my motherfucking mind. I don't care if you want to fight, have fun, fight me when you see me. Other than that, I don't give a fuck because I ain't on that drama shit. I'm just
That's ill.
speaking my opinion, is what I like to say. Some people fucked it up, but some people took it for what it was and actually tried to do something with it.
Hmm.
And but
That's lit.
like every other city, you still got your egotistical rappers or some of your young rappers that don't want to soak up knowledge and they're just like fuck you old heads and shit like that, which I can understand because I was there at one point in time, so
Hmm.
I'm not even gonna cap. But no, there is it's coming around. I can't say that. The last couple of years it's coming around and people are coming together and most of them are people that have put money into their music, actually really went to their music, didn't just want to drop a
Exactly.
song, they've actually, some have learned how to produce, some have learned how to, do things in other areas. So, and then them people are seeking out other people that say I knew the finance part of the business, but
Right.
the whole other part of the business. You know what I'm saying?
Actually actually
Motherfuckers,
putting together
right. These
a roster to
motherfuckers
make it
is
happen.
actually seeking out each other, getting back to the
Right.
teamwork and using all their different angles to get to, that place where everybody want to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, the heat, there's not much heat. And the cats that I mean, maybe it's just me being tuned out. The cats that, if they are making noise, I don't hear it, or I'm just too grown to pay attention to it. That's the
Mm.
only way I can put it. But no, I don't.
Nowadays with the internet, you can get it from anywhere,
Mhm.
you know,
I
and
got
actually,
attacked the other day, all bullshit aside, and I mean,
yeah.
I'm not trying to bring up the show, but I got like a girl come after me because I made a post, and sometimes I don't think about shit because I do these interviews, I do the review show, I do so but I am pretty much, I'm a humble person, and I like to keep it balanced, whether I agree
Mhm.
with something or not, just because a lot of people see my face, and it's a good way to talk shit, be like, look, he's this or he's that, and then
Right,
the
right.
internet will run with it. But yeah, no, the other day I made a post, and I guess it could have sounded a little fucked up, but it was like, it was like I was just being funny, I didn't mean no harm, and I was like, I said, if you was born with a dick, you're a male. I said, if you was born with a vagina, you're a female. I said,
Ha
and I
ha!
said, lesson of the day. That's all. And
I'm done. I'm done with you.
the post
I'm
went
done with
the
you.
post went left. I mean, it went far left. Like that motherfucker started.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with
But
stuff like
then I
that these days.
explained, like I
I
had
try to be more open myself
like I
to
don't
to
have
things
no
like
issue.
that.
Like I got gay people in my family, all that shit. I don't care about that
Right,
shit.
right.
I'm just a naturally I like to joke about shit. I don't
Just silly.
mean no
Yeah, I know.
harm, you
I
know.
know you, so I know that you didn't mean nothing by it. Right,
Right.
right.
And like I even got a daughter that stays with me that, likes other girls, That ain't a thing to me. I don't give a fuck. That's your choice, Who am I to judge you for whatever you're doing as long as it ain't affecting my life.
Right,
But
right.
no, I explained it to this girl because she come on there and she asked me if I was homophobic. And I said, no, not at all. And then I explained to her, the situation that had went down and how it went down. And I explained to her the people in my family and stuff like that. And she blatantly just come back and said, yep, you're homophobic. I'm
she
like,
she she came to the conclusion for you.
right. And I'm like,
She answered for you.
but it did suck in a way. Like I said, sometimes you got to watch what you say because even though I meant no harm, she might have only been one person, but she fucked with me for like
She put
three
that stamp on
three
you.
years on social media, and she backed one of my shows, and she feels some type of way. And I don't judge her
Yeah.
for it because some people got real strong feelings and they don't even like to joke about that shit. So I understand that part, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I guess the lesson is even though I gave my lesson that day, they gave me a lesson at the same time. And sometimes you just got to know when to be funny and when not to be funny.
When not to be, yeah.
Right. But
Yep.
definitely crazy. Words and offense and the way you do things nowadays has
Words are
yeah,
powerful.
you
Yeah.
got a big effect on people. And if you have a voice or anything and you use platforms, you gotta watch how the fuck you do it, I guess. And I'm
Exactly.
used to speaking my mind, and sometimes you can't do that. So it
It's
is,
all PR.
yeah, it is what it is. Um, all right, so we got past the places you performed and all that. You gave me 5 or 6 or 12 instead of three, but
I gave you a solid five in
was
the
it a
Ore House.
solid five?
A solid five, and Ore House was the littest. That was dope.
All right, which will lead me to my next question. Out of all of those, which is your favorite song you ever performed? Where and why?
Mm, that's a great question. I would have to say all I need at the work at the Viper Room and on Sunset. I had my man Dion with me on the vocals, singing, the hook, and on that verse, I'm representing my hometown, so for that to be knocking on Sunset in Hollywood, California, that was pretty
Right.
dope.
Said just
You know what I'm saying?
the whole groove of it and representing and all that
You know,
and being out there somewhere that's
right? I
somebody or
say,
something or
Ashtabula, some consider it a ghost town. It's been a while, so I guess I'm a ghost now. The chosen one, so I guess I'm the golden child.
right.
Everything that I touch comes to life. Every time that I write, I speak life and drop light when on the mic.
I feel it. I
Bitch
feel
niggas
it.
want to challenge my pedigree, but I've been hot since my sis danced the heavy D. You know what I'm saying? So to be repping Ashtabula in the Viper Room like that was dope.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers was feeling that shit.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. I'd agree with that. That had to be an experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely dope. Here's a real fucked up question because you can think about it in many of aspects depending on what you're trying to do or what type of music you do and so on and so on. And you only get one, just one. It's another one of them where you only just get one. If you could change one thing about the music industry, what would it be?
Just the repetitiveness, man. Everybody got the same flow nowadays. slap the auto tune on, do the Migos flow, and you got a track. You know,
Do the
which
Migos flow.
do the Migos flow. You got a track real quick. Da 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 da. Like, come on now, everybody can't. You know,
Right.
if you're gonna do it in your own special way to where it's like, you know, we from the Midwest, so
Right.
we was spitting double time back in the days, like,
Right.
you know, double time flow was like we can give you 4 or 5 different ways to spit double time without it not being repetitive. You feel me?
Right.
Hey,
Before they started doing it.
bruh,
Right.
me, you, and Neil on the double time on the Nightshade tracks back in the day.
But I say that
Come
about
on
the
now.
singing in the tracks. We was singing hooks in the rap songs
Bruh.
before the industry was doing it. And cats
Yo.
was hating on that shit, bro. They was like, why you
Hey.
guys always singing on the tracks?
And then it caught fire.
Yeah.
It became trendy.
Yeah.
It came trendy. We was ahead of our time with that shit.
I say that I had a conversation with Dre and a couple other people about that. I was like, I remember a couple artists that was coming to the
Come on,
studio
man.
on Bonniewood. They're like, why you cats always singing hooks and they're rapping on the verses and singing behind the verses? I'm like, bro.
Dre would give you a beat and the hook.
Yeah.
Then Ashley would hop on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was just the chemistry. Everything just flowed. But yeah, that was way ahead of time. But now that's the whole industry now. That's the crazy part. I think about that sometimes. I'm like, that's wild. That's super wild.
Yeah, we was lit. We was lit low key. I would like to hear. You know what, bro? I don't
hey,
have.
bro, you want to know some real talk? This that conspiracy crazy shit. I think Dre jacked me. He was only right over in Canada, and I was doing that shit way before that cat doing that little singing and rapping in the songs. He just perfected it. Yeah, I think.
You said Drake bit you?
I think he jacked my whole style, bro. Cats was hating on me for that shit. Then he took it and perfected it. Nah, I'm just tripping. Shit. You never know though. It would be crazy though, cause I'm in Ohio, up top at the lake, and he was right on the other side. So you know.
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah, it'd be.
I think Drake got a lot of his influence from Fonte.
Yeah. He definitely created a own lane of his own though. Like
Wayne, right?
Yeah, and the bitches.
That's funny.
Or the females. My fault. See, there go that politically correct shit again.
You gotta get you a PR consultant, man.
Nah, fuck that.
That'll get you together.
Look, I done made a motherfucking post today, a video, cause you ever seen anybody get banned off YouTube? Like I said, I got banned off YouTube.
Banned off YouTube.
You know what? March, and I can't monetize till March. I was pissed.
I'm so low key. I haven't even been placed on timeout off of Facebook before.
It was all because I went to monetize and I had a song on there from 2019 and they added this new rule where they said it was misleading titles. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, all my titles are my name and the name of my song. That's it. I'm like, so how am I misleading? But come to find out, I dug deeper into it and they got this like law clause now that like if you got a song that has any political type of shit in it, they say it persuades people to one or the other side of the election and they don't allow that no more. So I kind of got where they was coming from and I was like, okay, it makes sense, but I'm like, this song's got like, 1K something views and all this other shit, and you're just now when I go to monetize, you trying to fuck with me 2 years later? I'm like, come on now.
Right.
But
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy as fuck.
That makes sense though. There was just I was watching the news the other day, and some dude got locked up for he was super active online. And he provided like a text number for people to place their vote on.
Oh shit!
And they said like 5,000 people did it, and he got locked up for that shit.
I think about that
because
I was on my
taking this shit serious.
I wilded out on my video on Facebook Live today, and the heading is "Fuck social media," and I said all kinds. I said all kinds of shit that they'll probably ban me for, but it's like, fuck it, I'm trying to prove a point. So
social media will get you caught up.
Oh yeah.
That's
it's
man.
It's shitty because it's one of the biggest advertisements for artists and stuff nowadays. So it's like digital platforms, all that. It's a shitty situation right now. But
Yeah, it forced you to be out there, and it was like, back in the days,
they
what?
wanted that back in the day. They wanted that for the views, and now they want everything to be proper, is the way I could put it.
Yeah, I feel like back in the days, it was more like you learned about a person and how lit they were or weren't, or whatever they was going through in their life. You learned about it through the music.
Yep.
Now they want to hear something super generic in the music, and then they want to follow you online to get the content, to get the fullness.
I think it's the attention, and most people like it's not book knowledge no more. It's not hands-on knowledge no more. Everybody can go to a computer, YouTube something, Google something. So the need to want to like actually learn knowledge or actually get your own opinion from reading knowledge is not there no more. Most people would rather follow a Facebook meme or the crowd that's going along with it. That's their friends. They said it, so it must be right. Instead of actually going, I guess you want to call fact check it. I don't like misusing that because Facebook fact checkers are full of shit. But you ain't hear me say that.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, I think a lot of it's laziness nowadays. Is all it is.
That part.
The bottle part. Nah, I see.
It's just like, what I'm saying? Everything is, I try to incorporate more of a balance myself, but I'm a very private, low key person.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to give them what you can give them. So I got some different angles, trying to be more, out there with the music, because I feel like I got to rebrand and reintroduce myself to those that may not be as in tune as back in the day.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I had to look you up after a couple of years because you disappeared. I was like, what the fuck? And then
But I love I love that you had to, because you were like, you had I feel like you may have had a positive experience to where you was like, let me see what he's got now.
I was curious, and then I got intrigued,
Mhm.
and then I started doing like everybody does, and went and looked for the information you provided, and took my judgment from there.
That's dope. Right. I appreciate that. Thanks for tapping in. I had a show uh at the end of 2019, alumni weekend. I went to Xavier University in Cincinnati and shit. And we had alumni weekend there, and I had happened to have a show. One of the promoters, Far Our Rome, who ran a dope open mic back in the days with Scandal, rest in peace Scandal, one of the dopest MCs out of the Natty and shit. They had an open mic back in the days, and Rome ended up going and doing his thing and promotions, a lot of festivals, Clifton Heights Music Festival, and put me on with a lot of venues that hip hop couldn't get into back in the day, because they felt like
Open
a
the
certain
door.
right, a certain crime element would come with it. So, but we was doing a lot of venues that a lot of rappers couldn't get into, and he was a major part of that. But what I'm saying? So basically, it's kind of crazy that you know, I forget what I was about to tell you, but that's that was some ill shit back.
Is that tolerance not as high as it was?
What was the question? Repeat the question. What was the question?
I'm done. We're gonna move to the next because I was just
it'll refresh.
listening. He said, "Yeah,
Right.
We'll pick that back up. If
We'll pick that back up. We'll pick that back up.
Right. How would I put this one? Because these next two questions are kind of the same, or they could be taken at the same time. But I guess the first question would be, what is one message you would tell your fans? But at the same time, the second question is, because sometimes it falls into the same category. What, and I ask this question because I like knowledge, and I like, you might say something that nobody's ever heard before, and it might affect their life, and it might, what you say, they might be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Give them a whole new aspect on life. And like I said, I like to spread knowledge, so that's why I ask these questions. So let me break it down like this. What is the best advice or knowledge that someone has ever told you that's always stuck with you, that actually helped your life or anything? It could be a fucking family member, it could be an artist, it could be a spirit, it could be a fucking dog or a squirrel. But what is the best advice somebody has ever told you?
Oh, I remember what I was talking about too. What I was, I'm gonna answer your question, but
I'm with you.
what I was saying was when I went through the name change,
Shit's epic.
alumni weekend in the Natty, you know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of people from the school came into my show that weekend.
So they still embraced it.
They still embraced it,
Right.
but on the sign it said Brody Merlot headlining.
Right, but they still knew.
They was like, you know, one of my homegirls pulled me to the side, like, "Yo, who is Brody Merlot? We thought this was your show."
Did you say what's happening?
And I'm like, "Yo, that's my new name." And they're like, "Okay, we just wanted to make sure." Like, okay, so you are the opener. So I got to be very, very intentional with the,
about to
you know,
that bitch over the name.
I got to be real intentional with, you know, reintroducing myself.
Right.
But not real talk though. Both of my parents are ministers, and you know, some of the most valuable lessons I've been taught have been from both of them. Just experience, seeing them, you know, navigate through life, and then, you know, just rolling with the punches, man. Myself, you know, life and experience is the best teacher too. You know, just peaks and valleys. You know, uh, there's been moments where went from couch surfing to where I am now. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
The whole process wasn't pretty. And through the whole thing, I always, you know, kept doing music and different things like that. But yeah, man, experience is the best teacher, but my folks instilled a lot in me that, you know, well rounded me as a person, as an MC and an adult.
So experiences pretty much.
Oh my God, bro. It gets real.
Definitely. Especially you done been in 3 different states. I mean, I've been around some places myself, but not for periods of 8 years and things like that. Like you're actually getting in and getting with the culture in that state and actually settling down and things like that. So I'm sure you're soaking up a lot of knowledge and a lot of experiences. Probably some good and some bad, but that's the way it
That
always
part.
goes.
Exactly.
um, anything you want to speak on? Anything on your mind? Anything?
Nah, I appreciate, you know what I'm saying? It's been crazy because, you know, like I was telling you, you know, Mafia and Paint hollered, you know, reached out to,
Yeah, I
you
talked
know,
to. Well, see, I co-host the show with him, and I kind of.
yeah,
It was crazy because it was like he come over and he was like, "We just did an interview with Bert." I'm like, "Bert?" He's like, "Yeah, Bert."
yeah.
I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here." He's like, "No, yeah." I was like, "This motherfucker's probably like, why are these motherfuckers trying to interview me?" He was like, "What do
Hey,
you mean?"
man,
I was like,
I
I was
love it,
linking up
man.
with him too. He was like, "Oh, that's crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, his face gonna be all over the fucking place between the two
Hey, I
of
love it,
them."
man. Like I was saying, sometimes I feel out of the equation because I've been far, you know, gone so long. And
We'll
for
see.
y'all both to reach out and
Yeah.
open up your platform to, you know what I'm saying, hear what I got to say and, you know, catch up and different things like that, man. I appreciate that. We definitely got to collab more and,
Yeah.
you know, and stay in touch.
See,
But it's good to hear from y'all. Appreciate it.
like I've been had a lot going on, but the thing that kind of got my mind about it, like that really the fucked up part of it is was the pandemic. Like I was doing my review
Mm,
show, and I quit doing my review show, and it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. I should have kept doing it because you know everybody was in the house. It'd have been hot. But whatever, that's a whole nother story. They banned me for 9 months, then they took that Facebook. So I ain't even gonna talk about
right.
that. But
Mm,
what brought me to that conclusion, I'm like, it's a funny fucking story. Child support. because of the pandemic, right?
Mm,
They're doing
mm,
video calls. You can't go to the courthouse. And it popped in my head. I'm like, because when I originally started interviews, I was going to kind of do like Vlad, no disrespect, not his format of interviews, but I was
mm-hmm.
going to do it to where I wasn't on the screen and, the camera's on the person and I do these same type of interviews like we're
I see what you're
doing
saying.
right now.
Right.
But then the pandemic hit, and then that situation, as funny as it sounds, I hate child support. I always pay my child support. I believe you got to take care of your kids, so we won't get on that shit.
Right.
But I did that call with them, and then it dawned on me. I'm like, damn. Because when I was going to do the regular show, I was like, I can't get the artist that's moved out of town and went on to different places. But then when I did
Right.
that call with them in the pandemic, by some fluke fucking reasons, got everybody in the house and made me do that video call. I was like, well, fuck, I can get in town, out of town, whatever. Just bring them up on video chat and bow, there it
Yep.
is. So I was like,
Yep.
yeah, it was definitely a fluke idea, but it worked out for the better than the way I was going to do it, as crazy as it
That's dope.
sounds. So it's
Life
definitely,
shit.
yeah, yeah. So I always got one crazy question, and I ask it because I know people's fans like to know, and I like to know myself. And like I said, I don't really judge nobody because as an artist, you think of yourself how you think of yourself. Who am I to judge that? And we all have a different era. We all like different music. We all have different styles. We all have different influences. So you might think my music is shit, but the next 100 people might think it's the shit. You know what I'm saying? There's no
Mm-hmm.
right or wrong to, how do I put this? There's no good and bad music. Some of us dislike some of this music, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, who is to really say with all the different musics and styles what music is actually to go by to be considered
Music.
music? Right. But that's not an aspect, that's not the question that I'm going to ask, though. But yeah, no, that's a whole nother trippy subject. But
Huh.
my question is, and I like to ask because I like the response and the fans do too, is where you look at yourself all around, underground, above, industry, all that shit. Where do you feel as if you are in the shit meter? Like you are the shit from 1 to 10. Where do you feel as if you are? And if you want to elaborate on it, that's up to you. But if not, you don't have to. I can respect that.
I'm not. I wouldn't really get into rating myself.
Most
Um,
artists
at,
don't.
at this point, I feel like when it's all said and done and I'm gone, obviously there's always more appreciation for postmortem artists, but the integrity and the attention to detail and the commitment to quality that I'll leave behind with my visuals and with the music. My kids and my kids, they can listen to it and be like, yo, that was, such and
Right.
such in the
I
family.
say
Like,
that too. I'll never be gone.
right.
Right. I'll
We're
be
more
everywhere.
we're immortal. We're
Right.
immortal.
Right.
And then one thing that I with me rebranding myself and everything, you know, I feel like people, social media, you can see who's in tune. You can, whether they like this shit or heard it or share it or not, you can see who's in tune.
I want a number though. I
So,
want a number from one to
so
10.
you see who's in tune, and it's like, what I'm saying, like, okay, y'all gonna be the ones, the people that ain't liking and sharing and loving the shit and pushing
Right.
it. Those are gonna be the ones that after you's gone, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it! He was so awesome
That
and
was my
legendary.
best friend.
That was my dude. He was ahead of his time. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think when it's all said and done, it'll be some shit like that, of course. And but at the same time, it's up to me to put all the dots together: Beulah, Cincinnati, LA, and make it all make sense, and everything be
I'm not
you
going.
know
I'm not going to let you get away from the number.
everything be all the way solid. So, but I feel like right now with the internet and streaming and everything, you know what I mean? It's just one hit away, just one hit away. But content wise and quality wise, I feel like we up there. You know, I got, artists like, I perform and did tracks with, artists in Toronto, Eternia, who's a super dope MC. I got my man Dion from Cincinnati on numerous tracks, who's been all over Talib Kweli shit, Game shit, Young Buck, was signed to Dr. Dre. So for an underground MC, like a lot of people, in the Natty and even from home in Beulah look at me like J. Cole before J. Cole.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm the J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar of my city. You know what I'm saying? To keep it all the way 100.
I won't contest that.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm cut from that cloth. And 1 to 10, it's hard for me to answer right now because I feel like I got so much still to do. But right now I say like a 6 or 7, but we pushing the 10 before it's all over with.
I can feel that. I can respect that. Definitely respect that.
Real talk.
That's some humble shit for an awful lot of work. I can respect that.
Yeah, because like I was telling you, man, I just had a show last, November, and everybody came out to support looking for the third element. And they saw they saw the name like Brody Merlot. Who's that? Like, is this your show or not? Like, are you headlining or what's going on?
Turn around and walk out.
Cause more dip.
That's ready to leave. Like, we don't know this dude.
I got a lot to do. And, I see some of the top, I hear the chatter in some of the top 5s and shit like that in my own hometown of Ashtabula. And I'm like, y'all tripping if I ain't top 5.
Yeah. But like you said, a lot of people didn't follow you, didn't know when you disappeared what happened. So like you said,
right. And a name change on top of that. So
a lot of people forgot. But I always I always remembered, I mean, not from just the studio and shit, but like, me and Neil used to be real close, and I knew that was your cousin, and then, and Dre and everybody. I remember everybody from back in the day. That's why when you be bringing up the crazy processes and influences,
that's crazy.
The memories be running through my head. I'm like, it's crazy where everybody at now and all the different branches and areas. It's wild.
Yep.
That's crazy.
2021, bro. It's been about shit
forever. It's
probably damn near been 20 years.
It's been
since the beginning.
It's been 20. Let me think about this. I graduated high school in 2002, so that had to be like 99, 2000. It's been 22 years since.
Damn.
I started fucking around probably like 21 with Dre. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, because we had it going early. You know what I'm saying? We was like that next wave of the new school, and then C Gutta moved from.
That's what we should have did. Made a big ass group like 3-6 Mafia or Wu-Tang or something.
I mean, we had Nightshade. It was Nightshade, which was under the Dre umbrella.
Was on everybody's shit anyway.
Exactly. Then C Gutta moved from New Jersey, and then Dre's brother, Ali started spitting.
About it, we was just all dropping mixtapes with everybody on it and putting a certain artist's name on it at a certain time.
Yep. Everybody was on everybody's tracks.
Yeah. Yep. That's crazy. My one cousin still got all that shit. I've always sent him everything and he kept it. He sent me something like a couple months ago. We was going back to like me and Neil's AC albums, all kinds of crazy. I was like,
hey man.
I was like, bro, but I ain't gonna lie, bro. I listened to that shit. I was like, oh, what the fuck was you thinking? Like,
I ain't gonna lie, like I said, man, our double time back in the day, ooh wee.
Some of that
double time was crazy.
Yeah. The motherfuckers would go in there and drop songs after songs.
5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Songs.
Stressing Dre out.
Right.
He gotta keep coming up with more beats, and we on his ass.
Actually singing and him fucking talking shit. Like,
he gotta stop.
Right.
He gotta stop and make dinner and shit. He mad as hell.
Just made a beat.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, good time, good time. So you got anybody? So you say like 6, 7, but you're on your way to a 10. I respect that. Anybody you want to shout out? Any projects you want to shout out? Any upcoming anything's evolved?
Uh,
Anything?
right now I got Furry Bastard EP out for animation. It's a soundtrack for animation I'm doing. We got a clothing line and shit coming out to support it. It's a 5-track EP. My last joint was called Armageddon 16. It's an EP. It's on all streaming platforms. So just tap in. I got a lot of different projects on streaming platforms. Tap into the latest, and then if you fuck with it, like, share, follow, and tune into the previous joints.
You heard him.
But that part.
I said follow him. Motherfuckers be at home anyway. It ain't hard to click on some fucking buttons. You're in your phone anyway doing that bullshit, so you might as well do something constructive. Support somebody, motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's real shit, real spit. So
definitely a dope MC. Always been a dope MC in my eyes. Definitely appreciate you giving me the time for an interview and letting me and the fans know a little something. I mean, I knew a little something, but you've been gone how long now from the city? And what?
bro, I graduated in '02, like I was saying, and I moved to the Natty in '03, '04. I played a year of college ball at Mount Union College in Alliance, and then I was like, fuck this city, and
Right.
went to the Natty. So it's been 16, 17 years, but I've always been back and forth. But my folks just moved to the Cleveland area, so when I come back, I usually go see them. I haven't been back in a few years, but I'm always back and forth. A lot of MCs reach out to get verses, whether they come out or not.
Right.
Is another thing, but it's good to, like I was saying, for y'all to reach out for me to do these podcasts, and people still reach out, to ask me for old songs back in the day that I may or may not have, or ask me for collabs, and whether they put them out or do something with them is not, but it's good for people to still be locked in. So much love, man.
Right. Respect. You guys know what it is, though. It is Shoe View. We had a hometown interview with somebody that, if you've seen, has elevated. If you follow him, he's went through started in one state, went through 2 states, soaking up the knowledge, and here he is today, as you've seen. But like I said, definitely thanks for coming on the show, giving me your time to be on the show and all that, and letting people know everything. And if you would like to say peace or whatever you would like to do, and then we will get to it.
All right, good luck, man. Be safe, y'all. Respect.